Hi, Michelle Wedertz here for Hip Kit Club, and I'm here to share with you my process for creating a layout based on this week's sketch. So this sketch is actually one that I designed, so it's got some linear lines, and it's pretty simple and clean. So if you like that, great, but I think the sketch would work for anything. If you like to use our color kit or your own mixed media supplies, there's definitely room for that. So I am happy to see what everyone's going to come up with on their own. So I am scrapbooking a 9x12 layout. That is basically what the sketch is based off on. It could easily be translated though to a 12x12 or a 6x8. It's that versatile of a sketch. So if those are your preferred sizes, pardon me, just go ahead and go with it, and I think it'll work out just fine. Now up first is I have to pick out the pattern papers that I'm using. And I am currently sifting through what remains of my January scrapbook kit, the papers that are in that. So I'm going to pick a few different colors. I'm going to play off of the colors that are sort of in the photo of my daughter on her first day of first grade. So I'm definitely going to go with that blue pattern paper that's right there. And then the limey, yellowy teacup paper, I'm going to include that, just a little strip of it, because it's going to kind of balance out the green that is in the photo, because there's quite a bit of green. So I felt like I needed to include something like that. And because I'm not going to use a big portion of it, you're not going to really see the teacups. So it's just the color basically is what I want you to see. So you don't know if you can really see for sure, but the paper that is right underneath her, that it looks like a pink, it's actually a little bit more of a lilac-y pink, sort of, in a way, and that is going to go with the purple that is in her shirt. So I thought that was a really good choice. Now I went ahead and pulled out this paper strip that I keep all my paper strips, and I'm going to see if I can somehow work that in there, but as of right now, I'm just pulling out papers and seeing and playing around with them and seeing, what goes good together and what proportions, because I'm not going to have all the same amounts of pattern paper, meaning I'm not going to have the same amount of the green. I'm not going to have the same, it's going to vary in size, and I find that works really well when picking out your pattern papers, is to, not overwhelm the layout with too much different patterns. So if you have little bits and pieces in different amounts, then I think it balances out quite a bit. Now the pattern paper that I'm going to choose to use, that'll be the most prominent on the layout, is going to be the Yay paper. And then the colors that I've chosen are going to kind of play off of that. So that's what I'm doing here. Now the sketch called for some paper strips, so I went ahead and cut those down, and I also used my paper pen or border punch, this one set that I have left in my stash, and went ahead and gave that bottom strip of pattern paper a little bit of variation. Now I did go ahead and pull a piece of vellum from my stash, and I'm going to go ahead and layer that under my photo. Since I already have 4 different pattern papers, I really didn't want to add any more pattern paper layered underneath my photo. So that vellum is kind of going to break it up with between the photo and the pattern paper, just enough so that I don't need to use any other pattern paper behind my paper. Instead, though, I am going to layer embellishments under my pattern paper. And luckily, the kits always come with such a great variety of embellishments and die cuts. Some of them are sometimes, exclusive to Hip Kits. Some of them, like this month, are from awesome companies like Pink Fresh Studio. And this one's actually one from their newest release. So I'm excited about that. Now, right here, I decided as I was going through my stuff that I wanted to, instead of just having a sheet of vellum, I thought, why not make a vellum pocket and then put some of the sequins that came in, I think, the Project Life kit. I could be wrong, but it's one of the January kits. and make like a shaker pocket. That way that could somewhat map the photo. And I thought that would be a fun element to use. Now, to do this, I just folded it in half, put some adhesive on the sides, pop my sequins in there, and then folded over the top and sealed it with adhesive like an envelope, and there is nothing coming out of there. So I'm pretty happy how that turned out. So now that I've got the picture here, I'm going to try and decide what other elements in the kit that I am going to go ahead and layer under. And I've chosen some die cuts, as well as it's a chipboard frame. The circle is actually a piece of chipboard from the kit. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there, and that goes right along where the embellishments are on the sketch. So I am following this super, super closely. And I am going to actually use some of the flower die cut. I'm going to use that in the top of my photo, and then another puffy sticker flower in the bottom. And that's going to kind of move your eye up and around the page, just like the sketch suggested. Now, as I mentioned earlier about if you were more interested in adding some mixed media to your layout, a really great spot would be underneath where the photo is, kind of leaking out from under the photo up, below it onto the top, and just kind of like a natural flow is where you could do something like that. As you can see, I actually added some mist droplets because that is, as far as my mixed media goes, most of the time, but it's something I like to add in. But you could obviously go way bigger with it than I did. Now I'm using these really cool gold phrase stickers, also from Pink Fresh Studios' newest release, or one of their newest releases, and I am going to put that right on top of the photo. I know when I take landscape photos, like this one of my daughter, I almost always try to off-center her. That way it leaves me some space whether or not I want to add some embellishing on that corner, or it's a good space to, like I did here, you could put your title on it. So sometimes when I am actually taking photographs, I'm thinking about this ahead of time. But this picture worked out really great and had a nice bit of space for me to put my title right there. So I'm basically just finishing up here. I'm going to add another die cut underneath the picture at that top right corner, just to give it a little extra oomph. And then at this point, all I have left to do is to do my journaling, which is I'm going to put it right where the sketch suggests. Then I need to add in some smaller embellishments. The kit came with a bunch of options, and one of my faves was the enamel sparkly hearts and stars, and I think kind of like diamonds, from one of Chamel's, not her most recent one, but her release before that. But I really like them, and they're just like the perfect amount of sparkle. So you'll see that I'm going to add those in just a bit. Now I use a ruler when I write on my layouts because I can't write straight and it bothers me very much so. So I go ahead, and if I write, this is how I write. I always write the same exact pen, and then you'll see I will underline it with the ruler. I've been doing that for ages, and it's purely because I cannot write straight. I can try, and it's not going to happen. So having the ruler is a helpful tool for me, and it saves my sanity. So there you have it. Like I said, I'm almost near the end of the layout. I'm just going to add some small embellishments, and I'm going to go ahead and put those around, already around where I've got the embellishments going, or I have those big clusters. I'm just going to build upon those and add a little bit more detail, and maybe make the main one just a little bit bigger, using more die cuts. So, like I said, this is a part of our sketch challenge that we host weekly. You should stop by our Facebook page in our Hip Kit member forum, and that's where we have designers share their weekly takes. We also share it on the blog and on our YouTube channel. So it would be awesome if you want to stop on by and check everything out, and then put your own layout together and then share it with us, because we always love to see what everyone else is doing with their with the sketches and their Hip Kit products, or any other product that you would like to use. So thanks for having me today. Thanks for sticking by me. I'm under the weather and having a hard time talking and breathing at the same time, so my apologies if I sound too breathy today. I can't help it. So thanks for having me.